we barely got what we even started to put in there, and it was still a lot of stuff. So I kind of wanted to focus on the images and just some of the moments from those many years on tour. So I had a lot of photos and more photos of my bandmates because they're not really that keen on being photographed. So I just kind of had some candid ones that were taken on the road and that they approved. And I don't know, just the behind the scenes doesn't really get presented in a way that I like it presented. Like I miss kind of a more not super explained way. Like I miss kind of the mystery of music. I miss rarity, and I really miss, I don't know, I just had such a love affair with my records when I was young. I would pore over the photos for hours and read the liner notes, and that was my connection with the music. Like that kind of was the little video for me.
Right, because you couldn't go on the internet and
Exactly.
Google the person immediately.
Exactly, and so I think a lot of the backstory of the music or the songs or the lyrics or whatever, I kind of filled in myself, which was really exciting. So I wanted to try to recreate that experience, but a little larger because it was such a big book, I thought. But we actually ended up with so much stuff that we have to make an entire other book later, which Kathleen and I have started working on actually, but it will be huge because it takes up a lot of room.
Well, so the images, so in the box set, there's no no explanation of what they are. They're just kind of a collage of images. Mm-hmm. And was that part of that preserving the mystery?
Yeah,
kind of.
Like there are images from tours and from making records and whatnot, but they're not overly explained. I don't like. There's a lot I like about social media and a lot I like about interaction you can have with your fans and stuff, but I don't like the over-documentation that people do. The behind the scenes at the photo shoot of so-and-so. It's like, I want to see, I don't know, I went to art school for so long that I like seeing the process, but at the same time, sometimes I just want to see what they meant for me to see. And see, because sometimes that bit of artwork is the main input. Like I'm so jet lagged, you guys. I'm having a really hard time thinking of regular words, so I'll just use my fist like this a lot. For this is what they wanted to say to me as an artist. So the thing that I remember from art school that I took away heavily was, does your finished product say to the audience what you wanted it to say? And usually the final image or the final song is what the artist wanted me to see and what they wanted to say to me. So I want to get really comfortable with that. Like I don't need to see the behind the scenes at, whatever. Sometimes little bits of that I enjoy, but everything is so documented that, I don't know, I think it's just a preference thing, really. It's not right or wrong, it's just a preference.
So you're on Twitter a lot. You're awesome at Twitter. Your Twitter is amazing, right? Your Twitter is awesome, right? How do you balance that? How do you find that sweet spot between, loving social media and engaging with your audience and wanting that kind of rarity?
Well, I only do Twitter because there are so many ways to disappoint your friends with not responding to them in a timely manner that I don't really need more. But Twitter, being brief as it is, and it's tied to my Instagram, which I don't use, it just kind of ends up working together. I don't know how it works out. But,
the magic, yes.
There are so many times where you'll go to a city, and I remember I used to sell my own merch at shows, and I would get to talk to people after the shows. And as my career has kind of expanded a bit, there's no time to do those things anymore. And I miss that one-on-one engagement. And I miss, just shooting the shit about really basic things like, this barbecue sauce that you can only get in your town is pretty fucking amazing. Just like those little things that make little communities really unique and interesting. And I kind of like to talk about nonsense, really. And Twitter's a really nice way to do that. Like, just talk about what a regular thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, guys, I'm coming to town. where do I get fried onions, or just whatever. And you get into really great little side conversations about things, and you find out about new music, or you can find out about really great artists, or hey, do you know anybody that has some horses I can pet because I'm super I don't just whatever weird kind of thing. And you kind of get to know your fans in a way that their friends would know them. Just everyday stuff is what you really want to talk about. And sometimes, when you meet people, they're kind of overwhelmed that they're meeting you, and they don't really get to say what they really want to say. And this way, time can go by, and they can be like, hey, how do you feel about that Brothers Grimm reissue, whatever? I'm glad you brought that up, so-and-so at so-and-so. Because it's just, you can just talk to people like they're your friend. Or not. Some people, you block them. Like, don't mention my vagina, sir. Even though I just mentioned it like 5 times. Like, you kind of got to feel it out, which you can't always do either. So, I hear you. Or please mention my vagina, sir, because I've not gotten anyone to mention it for some time. I don't want to, be sexist about it. My public domain vagina.
Right.
Still be weird and proprietary about my vagina, man. It's for everybody, my vagina. Don't act like it's yours. It's our vagina. Don't get greedy about
I
it.
think it should have its own Twitter account.
Doesn't have a lot to say these days. It just uses money.
Well, a lot of people who don't have a lot to say still have Twitter accounts. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm guilty too. And I'm guilty of sometimes being really crabby about shit and going on Twitter and just going with it, and then I'm like, man, we don't need more of that. You just need to shut up. And then people will go, you need to shut up, and I'll be like, I know. I know.
So, back to the